Is this going to work? Maybe it's working. Let me click about 30 more things. Okay, does this work? This works. Here's the screen. Can we look at the screen? Yeah, mostly. Now, click. All right, I got a lot going on. We got a guy asking a question in real time, and the questions aren't bad. So what the hell is it? Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. Here, guy says, that's Michael Mathis. This is in the Collectible Pennies and Penny Errors Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction group over on Facebook. And he wants to know, is this a double die? Okay, and he's got a picture right here. First off, I'm going to get him a link to this video, if that's possible, and I don't know how to do that. One moment here. Let's go over to this. And, yep, okay, good. So I can copy this, copy link address. I'm going to go back to there, go down, because it's getting involved. Okay, looking at it live. There. Okay. There, it loaded. Okay. So we got this guy's coin. He's got a 1969 S penny, and he wants to know if it's a double die. Uh-huh. He's got a picture of Liberty. It's a little bit blurry. I'll give him a minute here to get in. Meanwhile, I'll just review this post with everybody who's watching. Okay, so we got a question that's not quite right. The terminology here is a little off. So is he using, does he not know any better, or is he using a cell phone and it decided to change whatever the hell he was writing to this? Because sometimes the cell phones don't know how to type, and they fix what you type even if it's right. Okay, so I'm going to go with the idea that he knows that there are such things out there as double die varieties, but maybe he's a little inexperienced as far as the terminology. Okay, well, this is a key indicator. If he's inexperienced in the terminology, he may be inexperienced in determining what's going on the coin. And I got one single picture of Liberty, so it's a penny. We can tell that so much. All right, CJ, he's around. He chimed in, and he's right. The picture is too blurry to make a diagnosis. How do you tell? And this isn't good enough. All right, so I click on the picture, and I get an even smaller picture. Oh, God, save me. Yeah, there's a way to ask questions and a way to show what you're asking about. And we're getting some fails here. Okay, so we put up a better picture. Okay, still, it's this tiny, tiny little picture. All right, that's not really helping me much. I can open it in another window, try to play with it, zoom in. Honestly, this is going to be tough. This is going to be real tough. What I'm trying to look at is there extra metal, especially in around LIB. Okay, as yet I don't have enough information uh, to compare it to known specimens. Okay, so we'll keep on going. CJ says, doesn't look like it to me from here. This is key. He's qualifying his remarks. But depending on the year, there could be specific points to look at. Ah, all right, CJ's got his shit together. Have you compared your coin to known listings? Well, for that, we'd have to identify the coin. We need to know the date, the mint mark, and that comes up later. Okay, I'm still new to this. Could be just wishful thinking. Yeah, a lot of times, right there, a lot of times that's what's going on. People are looking for that $1 million coin, but he's looking at the details, right? He's not saying how much is it worth, where can I get my money. So I'm going to say that this guy is worth saving. Okay, CJ says do some more research. If you think you found something, oh, this is beautiful. Hold it until you've gained more knowledge and look at it again. Uh, this is some of the best advice I've ever seen offered, right? Seriously, what you know now is a fraction of what you're going to know in 6 months or a year from now. And to take this coin, this 1 cent coin, and set it aside is probably not going to break anybody's budget. Uh, Here we go. Oh, look, now we got another image, and we're able to add a date and a mint mark. So I can identify this coin as a 1969S. And look at this. He says it looks like a DDO2. Aha. So here we've got a fellow who's inexperienced, but he knows enough that there are different double dies for the same date. It's not the big prize, right? The 69 double die number one, which is worth, thousands. Okay, his looks nothing like this, but he's saying DDO number two. Well, let's see. The nomenclature used there suggests that it's where is it? I had it up here. Oh, let's see. What's this one? No, that's Copper Coins. That's Wexler. Here's Variety Vista. So he's using DDO002. He's probably using Variety Vista as his reference, right? So 1969S, double die number two. Okay, we're looking at two is, we can decipher this. Two is this number, right? It's double die number two. It's an obverse, right? It's the class 5 doubling, so it's rotated around a point that's not the center. So it's rotated clockwise from K9. Now, if we, let me show you this here. Here's home, right? Remember, just the other day we were talking about this. The clock, the K number, if it's rotated from K9, there's K9. So this coin rotated with this as the pivot. When the dub, speak English, you dummy. When the hub went into the die, it rotated. Let me do it this way because it's going to be easier. It rotated around this point over here at 9 o'clock. See that? K9. So we got rotation kind of like that, right? So it rotated clockwise. It's going to be this way. It rotated like that with, with this as a pivot point. So what should we expect to find from a class 5 double die rotated at K5? All right, remember this? All right, we got the dunce cap over here. We should expect, if that's my rotation point over here, that the further distance from that is where I would see maximum doubling, maximum distance in that in the extra metal. So that's going to be opposite, and probably up here in trust and down here in the date is where we should see doubling if it is the double die number two. So let's go back to the screen here. Okay, what does Variety Vista offer? Well, we don't see a whole lot in trust. Maybe a little bit on the T, right? Liberty is going to be closest to the point of rotation, so we'd expect, nothing showing up from there. But we're going to see a little bit on the date, right? Just above the 9, up at the, let's see, up to the northeast, on the 6th, up to the northeast, just inside. And here, let's look at this. Copper Coins is pretty good with this, with cross-referencing. He's saying, this is Chuck Daughtry's site, coppercoins.com. He lists double die number 2 on Konica as his number 3. He had already listed 2 others and then cross-referenced this one. Okay, so Wexler number 2, Konica number 2, and Copper Coins number 3 are all describing the same darn coin. And Copper Coins has the best darn photos, okay? There's no competing with that. You've got the best darn photos out there right here. And he puts in arrows, he talks it up. Look, you're looking for extra metal, some more meat in and around the date, especially the 9 and the 6. It doesn't show up so much on the outer 9. Maybe just a hair on the 1, but boy, that's barely noticeable. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. And he's got little die markers. He points to those. Okay, again, we don't see much on trust, but he's got some polishing marks that he's got pointed out, and great shots of the back. Look at this. You can pick these out. Even if they're circular, you probably still have some of these surviving polishing marks. They're pretty substantial, and you can pick out the direction. Okay, now let's look at Wexler's number 2. Right, because Konica they don't have much from markers. What you got here? Do you see any die markers? Read the whole page. You should have a strong spread but weak hubbing on the first 9-6 of date, on the upper first 9-6. Is there a second 9-6? 9-6, 6-9. Okay. Well, there it is. Hey, watch this. You got die stage and markers chart. In stage A, you're looking at machine damage doubling. All right, you can get that on any coin. So this is on the particular specimen that they investigated. Um, Machine MD shows in the date and mint mark. That's not going to help us, right? Because you might have a specimen without MD. And you got die scratches north-south outside column number 12. Right, so here you got a die marker listed for early die stage, but they don't show it. What? Oh, come on! You're gonna get this. You're gonna get incomplete information a lot of times, and you have to decipher this stuff. So using a single attribution source, dude, there's more out there. You got to do your homework and get deep into it if you want to diagnose this. Uh, Wiles is mentioning die scratches north-south outside the column, but he doesn't show it. Okay, let's go to Wexler, see what he says for number 2. And that's going to be down here. Here we go. Wexler is describing a clockwise spread, probably from a tilted hub. Okay, shows in the top right side of the first 9 and the lower half of the 6. There you go, and he's pointing out the same darn things that you see copper coins pointing out. Same darn things. Yeah, that's a good match. Okay, die markers. Here's what he says. On the obverse, you get a short die gouge extends east-southeast from the rim to the right of the top of the N in. Right there. Gosh, that is a 1/10 of a millimeter. Look, this is the height of the letter. That's about a millimeter. That's a tiny little mark. Look at this. Inside the N in the cent, we're looking at a pretty sizable scratch here. Let's compare that to what copper coins has. Gosh, I don't have matching markers. Each attributor will add some markers of their own that they're picking out, but they don't necessarily match up with what another attributor shows. Gosh, how do you do this? I got no markers showing on Variety Vista. Wexler is offering a good sized mark in the N, but I can't match it over here because he doesn't have a shot of the N. This is so hard, but you know, I do have a shot of the date. And here I've got some tiny, real tiny markers, right? The die's been polished. So if you have an early die stage, it may not show these polishing marks. Okay, this is hard. All right, let's get back to the fellow's coin there and see if we can pick out any of these markers. All right. Well, he's got a shot of the date, but it's hard, man. I can't quite see. Let's open that a new tab. I can't quite see if there's any extra metal. This image, really, the coin is almost as big as the image here. Let's open that in a new tab. I'm looking for some extra meat up here on the top right of the 9, up here on the top right of the lower loop of the 6. I'm just inside, but the quality of the image just isn't good enough to make a determination here. We need to be sharp. Chances are the fellow's, well, if he's inexperienced, he's not, well, he's not a camera operator. He wants to be a coin collector, a numismatist, but we're going to work on some skills. Okay, I can't do anything with these images. Okay, there's that one. Let's kill this off. Let's keep on going. Okay, CJ's asking, what markers have matched and whose listings are you referencing? There, that's perfect. This is a great question. Whose listings are you referencing? Because as I mentioned, they're not all the same. They might be describing the same darn thing, but they don't necessarily show the same markers. Okay, let me kill this off. Let's kill. We looked at that one. What's this one? Oh, there's the N. Okay, that came across later. All right. So he's looking at Variety Vista. See, it's one thing. Ah, look. See, I got another misspelling here. So is it he's in a hurry with a phone, trying to type stuff in, or is he silly? No, I think this. Yeah, he fixed it. Vista. Okay. Variety Vista. All right. If you're going to offer a an attributed variety, you need to say whose attribution, right? Because, well, if you say DDO number 2 and somebody looks over at copper coins, they're going to see a different coin altogether because Variety Vista's number 2 is, well, copper coins number 3. So if you look at number 2, thinking that's what he means, but you look up copper coins too, it's going to be a different piece altogether. So you got to get on the same page, and we're getting there. So Variety Vista is what they're using, but the Variety Vista doesn't offer much for markers. So what specific markers took you to number 2? And he's offering a photo. And this looks like a shot right off of Variety Vista, but there's nothing here for markers. All right, Variety Vista, their images just aren't that good. And here's his shot of the ST. Again, I can't see anything here. We lose a lot in the translation, right? You see it in hand with a good clear eye and a loop without fingerprints on it. And you try to take an image, and your eyeball is 500 megapixels, and your camera is, a megapixel. We lose a lot in the translation, so I can't do much with images this small. Okay, let's see. Let's kill that. Okay, the key markers are on the date, top of the 9, side of the 6. And he wants to know, do you think it is? Well, we don't have enough information to make this determination yet. Do you think it's a DDO number 2? Haven't seen anything to point to it yet. I would have to see a very clear picture of the date, but even then, maybe not 100%. The number 2 has very subtle doubling. Yeah, it does. We've seen that. It's light. There. Good Lord. Once you put some wear in the coin, some contact marks, right? Send it through circulation a few times, you're going to start to lose the ability to detect this thing. Okay, very hard to see. I looked it over and over again. I'll try to get better pics. What you got here? There's a better picture. There's the whole coin. But I've got to look at such tiny and subtle details that the equipment he's using to take the picture is just not up to the task. Right? The glare, the area of the glare is greater than the area that we need to look at. Okay, well, let's look at the coin. The rim is fairly sound. I don't see a whole lot of damage. I don't see a lot of wear. There's the top of his ear, the cheek, everything's, sharp here. The bow tie, yeah, this is an AU coin. So there should be enough detail apparent in a coin of this condition that we should be able to diagnose it. But we got to be able to see. And here, this glare is bigger than the area we need to look at. And we don't have enough resolution to determine, is it this sort of thing? Let me see if you can see what I can see. Otherwise, I'm just running my mouth. There we go. I can move that over a little. Okay. So he's trying real hard. He's trying real hard. And here's a shot of the date. Yaha. Oh, geez. Try to zoom in, and I got the micro image again. Well, the glare, because we got a closer up shot, I'm not seeing extra metal above the 9, over here above the 6. Inside the 6, just not enough resolution here. But look, we got a mint mark here, a pretty good shot. Let's draw a line from the bottom of the 9 to the bottom of the other 9. And that S is right at the top of that spot. Okay. So if I draw a line over here on Wexler from the bottom of the 9 to the other bottom of the 9, that S is, well, either in contact with that imaginary line or just above it. Let's look over here. If I draw a line from the bottom of the 9 to the bottom of the 9, that S is in contact with that line. Okay. How about if I draw a line vertically through the center of the S? That line would be just about the center of the 9-6, okay? So the mint mark position, east-west, north-south is what we want to identify. So if I come over here, let's see, and draw a line through this mint mark right straight up, well, the mint mark position is real close. It looks pretty good. I think this might be a little lower than what Wexler's showing. So if it's the same die, that mint mark would have to be in the precisely exact same place. But he's got some more images. I don't see any indication of doubling here. I don't have a match. And the quality of the image, the resolution is not enough to offer up any sort of die markers. I'd like to see these, but what's the resolution at this point? I mean, you're talking a micrometer to try to see these flow lines. But let's see. This is north. This is south. It's a southeast direction here on these polishing or these little marks. Okay. And I'd like to see a heavier one coming off that 9. Maybe I could see that one. Okay, he's got a big arrow pointing to that one. Maybe I could see a southwest line to match up with this one. No, it's just, I'm not going to make it. Okay, he's got more images here. Okay, there's the IN, and I don't see the desired marker above that, but well, Wexler's showing this, and there's no way I'm going to see anything this sharp in this image. I click on it, but it gets smaller. This is doing me no good. Okay, I can't do anything with these images. Okay, nothing here, nothing there. All right, see the different lighting, the different sharpness here, the different resolution between the two images. Chances are he set back and reset the camera and didn't zoom in. Okay, but I'm not able to I'm not able to make a match. Okay, so he just says I'm not seeing anything today and tags me. He says help. Okay, Michael Mathis pulls up this shot. So this is a Wexler listing, which is here. Okay, and here it looks like this is a cell phone sort of format. Yeah, all right. It's tough. We're working with cell phones, iPads, laptops, tower computers, all sorts of different equipment, and we're all trying to get on the same page. And we're encountering resolution issues in the various pieces of equipment. Some cameras are up to it, some aren't. Okay, EN. So he's looking at Wexler, looking at the N in Wexler, and we looked at that earlier, right? He's trying to find this mark. Okay, if this mark were on Mathis's coin, can we see it in his images? And this is the image provided. Not sharp enough is all I can say. If I try to zoom in, there's a better shot. Let's take it and look at it harder. I should see a little mark right across here, kind of a gouge in the die. So is it the resolution that's no good, or is it not a match? I think at this level of clarity, I should see this die marker. Okay, so is it not there? Which means it's a different coin or an earlier die stage. There's not enough information here to make a diagnosis, but so far I've had nothing point me in the right direction. I've had no hint of confirmation. Okay, checking. Thanks so much. Looking for it live. All right. I've got no evidence to point to it being a match. The mint mark is real close, but I think it's a little bit low. And if it's even the slightest bit too low, then it's not a match. The key points I want to see are going to be here in and around the 9 and the 6. And I just don't see it. There you go. I'm not seeing this on your coin. I'm not seeing any die markers from any attributor. I don't see the die marker on the N, beside the in. I don't see it inside the N. I don't see die markers shown by copper coins anywhere. Nothing. I'm not able to make that call, but I should see these polishing marks. These should be clear enough. Okay, so I got 3 attributors. None of them have the same die markers, right? And the die markers that I can see, I'm not able to make it out on this guy's pictures. All right, here's what you do. And CJ spelled it out the best. Where to go? Let's see. Here it is. More research. That's what you got to do. If you think you found something, hold it until you gain more knowledge. more experience, and look at it again. Because, well, camera skills, dude, we're not camera people, we're coin people. But trying to communicate our coins across these great distances through the internet with the various equipment altering the photos to, suit the platform, we're losing information on these images, and it makes it tough. But okay, this guy knows. This guy knows that there are different double dies, even on the same dates. And he's down to the point where he's looking for die markers. So he's got some potential. We can save this guy. We can work with him. But so far, I have zero evidence to suggest it's a DDO number 2 or even a DDO. But well, the images aren't good enough. At least not the images that I'm getting over here. So maybe I don't have a whole lot of hope for this particular coin, but you're down to the level of detail you need to be to start to be able to pick these things out. Well, go for it. Keep working on it, baby. That's all I can tell you. Here's Wexler. Yeah, look, there's another one. They got DDOs, DDRs. Check this out. Wexler has 2 double dies from 1969, right? Let's see. Wiles has, how many does Wiles have? DDOs. They have 2 shown, 2 listed, but Copper Coins has 3. Really? Yeah, he's got 3 of them, and they're all different. Well, if you think you have something, do as much homework and research as you possibly can. You're on the right track. We'll go from there. So I cannot prove it, and I'll put this in here. Let's see, conclusions. Unable to confirm the diagnosis. There you go. That's it. That's all I can do. I got nothing here, baby, but it's not favorable. I think I would see this, this mark on the end. But if it's a different die stage, if it's earlier, right, and that mark has not yet appeared, it wouldn't be there, of course. Okay, well, keep going the way you're going. Look, we've got a lot of good information out there. There's tips for new collectors. You can type that into the hashtag above my head here. Just hashtag tips for new collectors. You can go to Coin Class. Click on my name down below. It'll bring up a playlist for all sorts of different coin classes. I could probably show that. Here it is, playlist. There you go, and just click around, move that back and forth, and look, here's a whole bunch of coin classes. You can view the full playlist. The whole idea of this is to give more in-depth information on what to hunt for, where to look, what sort of things to consider. Yep. Gosh, how do you teach photography? We're getting out of scope with something like that. Okay, let's see. There's a stream. Oh, look, there's a whole bunch of people here. Okay, so if I'm on my way back to chat, we'll go to home, because there's nothing more I can do with that particular image. Okay, there. So now we can see what people are saying. Morning says, blues is Jeff Dunn. You see the mark on the N? I'm afraid I don't see it. The resolution of the image is not strong enough. There's Digging Canuck. Good morning to you, dear. Hi from Tallahassee. Oh, you're just right over here. Tallahassee's right there. I'm right here. Yeah. Steve Price has a plastic bag that has the date and hold for later. Yeah, hold them. Just hold it. Have another look at it. You can take notes, write it down, stick it in a flip. Here, this is what I do. Let's see. Yeah. What do we got here? Box after box after box. And I'll pull stuff out, stuff them in here, and try to make notes. Give me one. What's this one? Here's a 1921. Very fine, 35, so I graded. And it has a strong clash on the reverse. Okay. Let's have a look at that. Give me a card here. Here's one. So here's a 1921 penny. It should have a strong clash mark on the back. Where's the scope? There it is. I'm zoomed way in, man. Ah, there it is. That's a clash mark. So you'll find these things. If you don't know what it is, just take notes. Write down what you think it is. Put a question mark on there. Get back to it later. So there's the coin, right there. And there's the holder that I keep it in. So I've already identified this one, just made notes. It's okay. We'll put that back away. But I'm sure there's some stuff in here like, some DDRs, double die reverse, where it's a little bit metal. What's this one? Oh, here's one. A little extra metal right beside the statue, but I haven't gone through to attribute it exactly right. Oh, let's see. Here's one. It says 2001, die chip and the date. All right, what the hell's that supposed to be? Let's look at this. All right, take it. Come on out. Come out. Then drop it. So here I should see, if my notes are right, I should see a die chip in the date. That's not it. Oh, that's a die chip in the date, all right. You can't mistake that one. Big old gnarly one. Stop moving. So I got the camera sideways. All right, I gotta clean up the desk. Get that out of here. Then I move this. There, now I can get better access. So yeah, that's a die chip and the date. That's what my notes say. Yeah, I can't come up with any other better explanation. That's consistent with a die chip and the date. All right. So we'll put that back into the holder. Yeah, keep your stuff. Take notes. If you can't figure it out now, chances are, I bet you in 6 months, you got a better chance of figuring out. I've got sacks of stuff. What's this one? Home. Here we go. This one says 1925S RPM. Which RPM? Oh, Christ. You got so many of these RPMs. Let me take a look. Here's the screen. And I'm going to go over to my database. Here it is. Let's see. So pennies, it's a wheat penny, 1925S. Let me see if you can see what I can see. Yeah, okay, there it is. So I'm looking for 1925S. How many different RPMs, repunch mint marks, are there for 1925S? Here you go, there's all my listings. So I've got 8 different RPMs, right? I can look at this and say, aha, Konica has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is Konica RPM number 5? I bet you it doesn't exist. And let's see, Wexler has 8 RPMs. See, look, Wexler's got one that Konica doesn't have, right? And I can look at copper coins, and he's got 6 listed. One of them doesn't have a link, so I can't verify that, but it seems to be a match for the number 5. Okay, so I could probably take a look. I think I'll go to Wexler. Let's see, right there. I can go to Wexler. I want to see 1925S. There we go. RPM number 1. All right, little hook below. This one's also a hook below, but you got to compare, is your RPM, is your variety this one or this one? Which is the better match? This one seems to be further to the left. Mint marks are wonderful to use as die markers because they are specific to the die. They're punched in by hand, and they don't always line up in the same darn spot. So look at this mint mark. It's about the same height as the bottom of the 9, whereas this one is much higher than the bottom of the 9. Okay, here's another one, and this is a little bit lower than the bottom of the 9, but I can also look at the, draw a line straight up. Where does it line up? And where's this repunching? It's further to the southwest. So I've got a little extra meat here. Okay, here's another one. All you see is a little knob. That's considerably higher than the bottom of the 9. All right, so let's look at what the hell I got. Where's the scope? There's the scope. pull this thing out. So if you don't have it identified now, man, keep working on your skills, and in a little while you'll be able to figure that out. But maybe not just now. Geez, you knew stuff in 5th grade you didn't know in 2nd grade. Okay, look, I've got some extra metal right here below this mint mark, right? And I look at the left side of that, and about lines up with the point of the serif. Look at the mint mark position, about lines up with the bottom of the 9. I can look at the horizontal position. I've also got, well, kind of a noticeable die chip in the mint mark itself. Okay, so let's look at what that would be. Screen. Here we go. Where's RPM number 1? There's RPM number 1. All right, let's look at the position of this this extra meat and compare. How can I get my picture side by side with their picture? This is going to be real hard. But if I had the scope in, let's see. There's ways to do this stuff. All right, can we see any of this? So there's my penny, and there's Wexler's listing. Is this a match? Boy, that's awfully close. Mint mark position, kind of. Look at the line here. If I draw a line from the left side of that S, I'm going to intersect the 9. On my coin, if I draw a line on the left side of that S, I'm kind of over here to the right. I don't think this is a match. Let's try the next one. Okay, how about this? Is this a match? Look how close that S is to the 2. No, mine's way the hell off. Nope, not that one. How about this one? No, the meat on this one is far to the left, much farther than you'll see on mine. Keep going. This one, nope, not a match, not even close. This one, the repunch is at the top and in the center and off to the right. This one, just a nub. Number 7, that's a split in the serifs. What's this one? He's got triple splits up at the top. Okay, so my best matches are 1 and 2. So there's number 1. And I want to look at every aspect of this. The height, the distance, right? Have we got, let me try to move this over just a little. There we go. Obverse, die crack in the field, very heavy, mint marks heavily braided, curved, die scratch, very light die crack, new reverse die, short die scratch, scratch above EPU is gone, die scratch above the B. Oh, this is so hard. Wow, I need a way to check others, because if this is 1 or 2, let's see, 1, 2, let's go to copper coins and see what he's got for number 1. Okay, see how handy that is? Let's see, so number 1, he's showing about the right spot. There we go, so there's his, there's mine. I seem to be further to the right than this one. How about his number 2? Nope, it's not a match for 2. Okay, how about this one right here? Variety Vista 1. A lot of what you're trying to do is match what you have to what they have. This isn't even an RPM. That's a DDO. Okay, it's not that. Let's see, RPM 1. Yeah, let's look at this one. Okay, that's a fair match. Okay, so we've got Variety Vista showing, and I've got to compare what I have to, Jesus, everybody's listings and try to come up with the best explanation possible. And sometimes it's going to be hard, but I'm a pretty darn nice match. Oh, look, is there a light die crack on the shoulder of my specimen? My specimen is just too darn wore out. Too darn wore out to make a determination. Yep. Okay. Try to get to another one. Let me move this down. Here's Konica number 2. Konica number 2 looks to be on the left side. No, mine's closer over to the right. So I'm not a match for number 2. I can look at all of them right up here. How about Konica number 3? Let's see. Position is looking pretty good. No, their mint mark is higher than you see on mine. So it's not that one. How about 4? No, it's not 4. Ah, that's why there's no 5. It's unassigned. I click and nothing happens. Come on. No, that's not a good match. Okay, SRPM number 1. This looks to be the best match. Given the information available, the location left, right of this bit of doubling, that's a good match. Where it comes out, that's a real good match. Position of the mint mark, left, right, north, south, that's a perfect match. So this mint mark is probably RPM number 1, and I'll give that more study to verify it. Yeah, it's a lot of work to do all this stuff. Let me find my way back to home. There's the chat. Home. There. Gonna move stuff around. I get my screen so darn combobulated. It's a lot of work to try to identify these things correctly using the information available, because there are several attributors, but the information from one does not translate always to the information on another. Each one will have their own independent dye markers. They'll have different nomenclature. They'll have different quality of image. It's a bear. And if you have a specimen, you might see some indicators on Wexler that says it's this one, and some indicators on Variety Visa that says it's another one. And you have to sleuth it and figure it out. It's a lot of work. It's details. That's what it all comes down to. Blue says, I've been going through my stuff I put away 6 months to a year ago and really looking at them. 99% of those are going back to the bank. Yeah, I got a bag of picks here somewhere, I'm sure. What's this? No. What's this bag? That's just a bag of 1989s. Stick it in a bag. You don't know what it is? Set it aside. Look at it again later. You're in no hurry. It costs you a penny. If you save 1,000 pennies, right, because you can't figure out what's going on, it's only going to cost you $10. And if you decide it's nothing, well, you get your money back, right? Drop it in the bank. Go get some more pennies. Yeah, it's a process. Sometimes these things are going to be kind of sneaky. And you gotta wait for more information to show up and become available. You know, new dye varieties, new RPMs, they're being found here and there now and again. Gosh, maybe something's not yet listed. Maybe you have a variety that has not been listed by anyone, and now you have the chance to submit it to be attributed. And you know, a lot of these people, Wiles, he charges like $7. Wexler, I think he's $5. Copper Coins, I don't know if he's attributing varieties right now. He may be. I know he's doing some work with the stuff he's finding, but I don't know if he's accepting submissions from the outside world. I take these things in. I've attributed a few things for my our database. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I've got nothing more to add on this particular subject. Dude, stick with it. It's all about learning and developing your skills. And give it time. You'll get there. You know, remember, this hobby is going to be with you for the next 50 years. So you may as well learn now, because the more you learn now, the easier it's going to be tomorrow and the next day and the week after that. And boy, what else are you going to learn as time comes on? Because, geez, if you really were to focus, you know, good effort, pay close attention to detail, go through 100,000 pennies. In a couple of years, maybe a year or 2 years or 5 years, you'll be a pro at this. Does everybody have a Valentine? I got one. Where's mine? Oh, I love my Valentine. Look at this. I'm going to pull it up. Wait for it. I had it earlier. It's gone. Let me find it. There it is. And I'll close out the I'll close out the show with this one. There. Guys, I'm going to take off. I want you all to stay groovy, okay? You're all Valentines in my book. I got to find out how to shut this down. There, I'm going to go. We'll see you later, guys.